Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Jose Gabriel Criollo. I am the Institutional Development Director of the World Scout Bureau Interamerican Support Center. Today we are broadcasting about the campaign 5P to Grow, and today we will talk about the institutional development policy of the Interamerican Scout region. Susana, the executive in charge of our communications, is the general producer of this space, and she will help us during this afternoon. I want to invite everyone, if you are watching this video, to share this video with other friends in all your networks, and please use the hashtag 5P2Growth and the classic hashtag of our region, hashtag ScoutIAR. I will be happy to receive your questions, your comments, and your greetings from all the region and the rest of the world. Susana, if you're ready, we can start with the presentation, please. Okay, now here we are. 5P to Growth. This campaign is about to present or to introduce again the 5 regional policies we have on March. The 3 core policies: institutional development, youth program, and adults in scouting, and other policies. For example, a youth program, a youth engagement policy is a transversal policy. So, and diversity and inclusion policy. These are the 5 policies we have at the regional level, and we are absolutely sure from the regional level, if any single national scout organization can apply these 5 policies, the result of the implementation of these 5 policies will be growth. For that reason, this is the name we have for our campaign, 5P to Growth. So Susana, if we can pass to the next slide, please. Okay. So welcome again. Bienvenidos. Sorry for this small mistake. Okay. So as I said before, so at the regional level we have these 5 policies, and we are absolutely sure these 5 policies can grow to any single national scout organization. Take the challenge to be implemented. Okay. First, we need to start talking, providing an institutional development definition. As we have at the text at the regional policy, institutional development is the area that's dedicated to work in promoting progress and integral growth of the institution, so that each day it can fulfill better its social function through the application of its own program and method. Remember, the function of our institution is to accomplish the mission of a scout movement, and of course everybody knows that. So this is the real challenge and the real task we need to work since the institutional development perspective, since the institutional development perspective. Okay. The purpose of our policy. As we can see, the purpose of our policy is to identify the management fields, the fundamentals, and the good practice, articulating them among themselves in the institutional space to lend the scout movement support that it requires, and it expresses the most relying that orientate to the work of the bodies of the integrate that space. We need to be clear. Our institution have several tasks to do to can provide the best support as is possible to your program and to others in scouting areas. This is what we call the management fields. We identify 8 different management fields, as we can see in the next slides. Before to talk about the management fields, I suppose it's very interesting to talk a little bit about the background. The background of our institutional development policy. I will make a small parenthesis before to talk about it, because I believe it's very important to explain to everyone our region is the first region to born, and we have several steps before than other regions in several issues. For example, in institutional development, our region developed its own first institutional development policy, and right now at the world level we don't have an institutional development policy, at least not yet. I believe that the policy at world level will be arrived very soon, because the institution every single day is more mature, and every single day we are more clear about we need to create a standard level for all the national scout organizations. So in this line, we are working, for example, right now with the GSAT, and I believe to have an institutional development policy could be a very interesting tool for all the national scout organizations. So I believe in some moment at world level we will have this policy, but right now we have the regional level Interamerican Scout region, the policy of institutional development. Please give me a second. Susanna, please, can we cut the microphone of the other computer, because it's providing feedback to me, and I have several mistakes when I am talking about it. Because I listen myself and I repeat, and I feel the feedback, so I have trouble with this.
Okay.
The feedback continues. You can turn off the microphone. Okay, much better. Thank you so much, Susana. Now we can work better. Thank you. So as we were talking about the background, at the 31 World Scout Conference gathered in 1988 in Melbourne, in Australia, we developed the new strategy for scouting. After that, we developed in the Interamerican Scout Conference in 1999 the conscience about the importance to adequating and implementing the ideas expressed in that document previously developed at the world level. And at the 18th Interamerican Scout Conference in San Jose in 92, we agreed the Interamerican Scout Committee should carry out the general process to renewal the adaptation of the region. After that, in 2001, according I can remember, we approved the first institutional development policy at the conference we were held in Cochabamba in Bolivia. After that, in 2013, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, we developed the current policy of institutional development with another core policies, as I said before, youth program policy and adolescent scouting policy. And the other very important policy, transversal policy, because this policy touches every one of the others, is the youth involvement policy. So these are the main 4 policies. And in Houston, we developed the 5th policy, is the diversity and inclusion. Thank you, Susana, to remember me this. This is the last one policy. For that reason, we are talking always in this campaign about 5P to grow, 5 policies. At regional level, we have these 5 policies. The 3 core policies, youth program, adolescent scouting, and institutional development. 1-4 policy, transversal policy, is a youth engagement and involvement, and the last one policy is a diversity and inclusion policy. Okay. If Susanna, if you can help me with the next slide, please. Next one, please. Okay. Now we want to go into the structure of the regional policy of institutional development. This is the core issue we want to talk today. Okay. As any single of the other 5 policies, we have several elements to explain and to provide context to the policy. But the institutional development policy have 3 main issues into their structure. The first one is what we call it management fields. The management fields are 8 tasks every single national scale organization need to develop to provide the best service as is possible to the movement, to the Scout movement. Okay, these tasks are, first one, governance, and into governance, we need to develop a strategic framework, and we need to develop the regulatory framework, okay? And of course, the work by the made by the government's bodies, like a national assembly and like a national board by themselves, with the support of the national chief commissioner or national executive director, the people in charge of the executive organism. Okay, this is the task of governance. After that, we have administration. Administration is the second management field. Administration is in charge to take care about all our assets and about how these assets are operated, and about how we present the accountability about the use we make for these assets, including financial assets. Okay. After that, we have raising funds or financial development, as we call it. Okay, for no one of us is a secret. No one national scout organization can work with only with the fees the membership pay. We need to collect more money because this task of create a better world is not an easy task, and it's not a cheaper task. So our national scout organization need more money than the money provides by the membership. So we need to have people in charge to raising funds. The next management field is about communication and interinstitutional relationships. We are not alone. We need to work with other characters at the national level. For example, governments, private sector, non-governmental organizations, companies, several other actors work with us. So we need to develop interinstitutional relation with them, and looking for help for the Scout movement to achieve our mission. So in this area is institutional relations, and plus we need to work on communications to communicate to our internal members what we are doing and how we are doing that, about events, about activities, and about any single issues are interesting for them. And of course, to the external auditors, to external auditions, to external partners about what is doing the National Scout Organization at national level. So in this work, this is another task we need to develop, and this is in charge of communications area. After that, we have international relations. Remember, WOSUM is an international organization. Right now, we have 169 national scout organizations, and we are working and present in same number of countries and territories. So we are, in fact, we are a member of the international community. Right now, for example, we have members of, we have our representatives into UNESCO and into United Nations General Assembly, because maybe someone of you don't know, maybe others yes. WOSUM is a member of is a consultant member of the United Nations. So we are part of this system, and we need to take part on the process they are developing right now. In this case, so that is another management field we identify is international relations. Another very important and very strategic management field we have is operations. Operations, the first and the main task they are in charge is about the registration of our membership into our organizations, because we need to know how many we are, how many are male, how many are girls, where they are, the age of each one of them, because we need to know how many we are and where we are, because we need to provide services to all these people. And to provide the best service in the best way at the right moment, we need to know very clear about these figures to provide to them services, because that is our reasons to exist. Other part is very important for and is in charge of operations management field is to provide directly support, what we call it, I forget the name, in Spanish is apoyo territorial. In Spanish is something like a territorial animation. Thank you, Susana. Because this is the task to go directly to the scout groups, to the scout troops, to the scout corps units, and to the scout caminantes and rover scout units, to talk directly with the units leaders to know what they need and what and how, and to offer to them the resources we have since the institutional level. So this is the main tasks on charge of operations. Other big management field and very, very important management field is about risk management. Well, during several years, we are not doing a very good job on risk management, but right now we are more clear about this, and we are starting to put very close attention to this issue, because we need we have three main subjects to provide security. First one is our youth people, of course. Second one is about our scout leaders, because we need them to apply and to offer the youth program. And the third one, and not for be the last, is the less important, is the institution by itself. We need to provide to our institution all the safe as is possible, and the same for our membership and the same for our adults. This is the task of risk management. And the last management field is about ethics and audits. Ethics and audits is what we call it always the internal audit. In many national security organizations have different names. Is the people on charge to make the first audit before to send our figures and our performance to external audits. And this, in many cases, these persons are comes to us by election in a national assemblies. And of course, on ethics is what we call it a national court of honor, and the people on charge about discipline and to provide several recognitions every single national security organization have. So this is the 8 management fields we have: governance, administration, raising funds, communications and interinstitutional relations, international relations, operations, risk management, and ethics and audit. By other side, other main issue we have in the structure of the Inter-American Institutional Development Policy is what we call it a fundamental of the institutional development. We have 4 fundamentals, 4 main ideas to provide to us guidelines about the job we need to do. The first fundamental of institutional development is democracy. But when we write the institutional development policy, we take a long time to think very well about what is democracy for us and what kind of democracy we want to develop. Okay. For us, democracy is something biggest than an election process. For us, democracy is most about a way of life. It's something like a scouting. Democracy is expressing many in every single activity we do. When we respect the others, when the others respect us, when we have a very clear and transparent accountability process, all these tasks have a very close relation with democracy. When we renew our authorities from time to time, according our regulations, that is democracy. Democracy is not, remember this is very important, it's not about the elections. It's more about the think, how we, it's about the way how we think, and it's about the way how we work. That is the democracy we want to achieve. So we want every single of these four fundamentals, starting with democracy, take relation with governance, with administration, with raising funds, with communications, and etc. Okay? So in this sense, this is the fundamental of democracy we want to have. The second fundamental is surrounding and keeping update. Remember, scouting is not something live alone, and is we are not living in a aisles. We are part of the society, and we impact directly on that society, and the society impact directly into the scout movement. So we need to be very alert and be always aware about what is happening in our surroundings, what the surrounding is demanding from the scout movement, and how the scout movement can provide answer to that. For example, right now we are looking the great performance are making by the Scouts Mexico on the attention of earthquake and the troubles they have. So this is what we talk about, what we talk when we talk about surrounding and keeping update. The Scout movement, the National Scout Organization need to be very close and very aware about what is happening around them, and to understand that process and that situations, and to provide directly answers on the right time. That is surroundings and keeping update. The next fundamental is about service and support. We need to remember we are here to serve, not to be served. So we are servers of the organization. We are servers, especially for the Scout movement, because in the Scout movement is where the mission of Scouting could be achieved. We want to grow. We need to offer Scouting to more youth people in more places with more vibrant youth program. So that is our challenge. That is our task. That is our mission, and that only could be achieved if we provide service and support in an integrated way. So this is the third fundamental of institutional development policy. And the last one of the fundamentals is orientations to results and to impacts. We need to be very clear. Every single move we do, every single activity we plan and we implement need to produce a results, and that results will be produced an impact, and we need to measure that impacts, and we need to make an evaluation of that, and we need to improve taking into account that evaluation. So these four fundamentals: democracy, surrounding and keeping updates, service and support, and orientation to results and impact, are the four fundamentals of the institutional development policy. These four fundamentals, against our 8 management field, produce the core of the policy. Okay, and these are the main tasks we need to do at the institutional level in every single national scout organization of our region. The last part, and not for that is the less important, is the results produced by the connection between each management field and each fundamental. The connection and the interrelationship between these two elements provide the best practices. The best practices is the real added value we have from the institutional development policy, because if we start to identify the best practices, and we start to collect that best practices, and we start to share these best practices, and we start to improve even these best practices, we can be absolutely sure the performance of our national scale organizations will be improved in a major way. So if we have a more a better national scale organization working inside, of course, we are creating the best ground to grow the scout movement. So these three main elements, these are the three main elements into the institutional development policy. First, the eight management fields. Second, the 4 fundamentals of institutional development. And finally, the best practices. But many people make the question to us, why we need to do that? Why we need to work on this? Why we need to take these elements into account? Susana, if you can help me with the next slide, please. Because we, during long time, we have sick institutions. Well, for example, one of the biggest sickness have our institution is our institution never have enough a budget to work. So we need to improve the way of we develop our budget. We need to improve the sources of incomes for our budget, because as I said before, we need more money to accomplish the mission of a scout movement. If we start to identify this sickness, if we start to identify these troubles, for example, maybe several times we have a strategic plan, but we don't develop action plans, or we develop an action plans and we don't have budget to cover these activities. So we have troubles in governance area, because strategic planning is one of the elements of strategic planning is one of the elements of governance. So if we start to identify these troubles, we can start to make to apply the best practice, as I said before. And finally, the final product of all of this will be, Susana, please, new paradigms. With new paradigms, we can achieve better results. And with these better results, of course, the performance of our national scale organizations will improve. For this reason, this institutional development policy is so important and could be so powerful and so helpful for our national scout organizations. So this is the main issues we have in institutional development. We're talking about this before, because these are the fundamentals as we did it before. Okay, this is just a remember. Remember, the 4 fundamentals of the institutional development policy are democracy, surrounding and keeping update, service and support, orientation to results and impact. Okay. Now I want to invite to every one of you to make a little exercise. Writing a paper which fundamental you connect better and upload it at public with 5P to grow in the next 3 minutes, as we did previously. Thank you, Susana. You always find a way to catch my best angle. And it's not an easy task. I know that very well. So I want to invite every single of you to develop your own banner with the fundamental you think is the most important, or is the most closer to you, or you feel more comfortable to work on it. To me, the most important fundamental of institutional development policy is democracy, because as I said before, democracy is not exactly about to have a election process. It's most about a way of life. And our national scale organizations need to be very democratic. Here in Interamerica, we have a great advantage of many other countries and many other continents, because every single government in Interamerica are a democracy. We are a democracy, the continent of the democracy. So for us, it's very easy to understand what the democracy is so important and how the democracy can help us to improve the performance of our national scale organization. For example, how important is to understand we need to live all together with the same rights and with the same duties. That is democracy. So in this order of ideas, this is the democracy, the scouting we are expecting to help to develop, starting with our national scout organization, and later, of course, with the societies where we want to achieve impact through our youth people, through our the people is living right now the youth program. So I want to invite, as I said before, to make this is a small exercise about to develop your own banners or letters, and to share into social networks. Susana is saying to me, we have a question.
Do NSO need to have their own policy?
Okay, this is a question start to rise with a great frequency. I am very happy to receive this question. The system of the policies into a World Organization of Scout Movement is this one. We have world policies, we have regional policies, and we have national policies. The ideal is not absolutely mandatory, but this is the ideal. Every single national scout organization could design and develop their own national policies. And into these national policies take the elements and the guidelines provided by the world policies and the regional policies, and to put it at the national level. Okay? But we know that is not possible always, or this process takes time. If your national scout organization doesn't have national policies, not only institutional development, any other policy, that doesn't mean you don't have policies, because every single policy at world level and every single policy at regional level, if your national scout organization is part of the Interamerican Scout region, that are the policies of your national scout organization. So, for example, in the previous Scout conference 1 month ago, just 1 month ago in Baku, in Azerbaijan, the World Scout Conference approved the World Scout policy of safe for harm. If your national scout organization doesn't have a policy about safe for harm, that doesn't mean your national scout organization is aware of that or doesn't have it. That World Scout policy is perfectly applied at your national level, and your national or scout organization have the duty to take that world policy and to implement at national level. So every single national scout organization have policies since the moment we approve that policies at world level or at regional level. So yes, of course, your national scout organization have policies. Right now, every single national scout organization in Interamerican region have these 5P to grow, these 5 policies, plus the world policies we have now on progress. So yes, the answer is absolutely yes. Your national scout organization have policies. And I want to invite every single national scout organization to take these policies, to make a very deep review of each one of them, and to apply them as soon as possible into their own performance and into their own process at the best way as is possible. If any national scout organization need any kind of help to develop and to apply these policies, the regional office are absolutely ready to offer that kind of services to every single national scout organization needed. So just call us, send an email by the official channels, through your president, through your executive director or national chief commissioner, or through your international commissioner, and the regional office are ready to offer the support, because we have the experts, we have the knowledge, we have the every single resource you need to apply and to implement these policies at your national level. So that is the answer. Yes, your national scout organization have all these policies. Okay. According I see, Susanna is saying to me, we don't have any question more. We don't have no more comments. So if you are ready to start to update your banners, I will be very happy to see each one of them into the social networks. And we, since the Facebook profile of the Interamerican Scout region, we want to put I like it to every single of your posts. At the same in Twitter, in Instagram, and all and into all social networks. So please feel free. The region is here to serve you, to serve your national scout organization. And remember, if any single national organization start to apply these 5 policies, we can be sure that a national scout organization will improve their performance. And this improve of performance will provide the best ground as is possible to grow, to offer the youth program to more kids, to more youth people in more places and with more quality every single day. So my name is Jose Gabriel Criollo. I am the Institutional Development Director. Sorry, Susana is saying to me, wait.
To apply those policies, every national or organization needs the human profiles to do this. I mean, persons to know and apply policies. They need a special profile to do this and apply these policies, yes or no?
No. Remember, the policies provide to us a general and main guidelines about how we need to conduce the performance of our national scout organizations. The policies are developed for a small national scout organization or for biggest national scout organization. For example, the 8 management fields expressed into the Interamerican Scout Development Institutional Development Policy can be done by any single national scout organization, small, medium, large, biggest, really so big, because these 8 tasks need to be developed. Every single national scout organization need to have government bodies, need to develop a strategic planning, need to develop a regulatory framework. So, and the same with the other 7 management fields as a governance. So every single national scout organization could do this task, even need to do this task at the best way is possible. And for that is the best practice to improve every single day, because even the best process can be improved. So it doesn't matter the size of the national scout organization. Every single one of them, smallest, medium, biggest, large, can apply the regional policies.
Yes, that is a true idea, but adults need to prepare those persons.
Of course, we need to work with our adults. Of course, we need to work with the government bodies and with the executive team of each national scout organization. And in this line, the regional office can provide all the support they need. So just call us, and we will go and we will offer the best knowledge we have and the best tools we have, because the success of every single national scout organization of the region is the success of the regional office. So we are in the same team. We are on the same boat. And Susana is saying to me, is making And don't forget about very important announcement. Remember, today is the International World Day of Pancakes. So I want to offer, in the name of the region, the best, our deepest congratulations to the fans of pancakes. I am one of them. And enjoy your International Day of Pancakes. Thank you, Susana, for the very important tip to remember. So if we don't have any more questions, if we don't have any more comments, I was very happy to work with all of you today. My name is Jose Gabriel Criollo. I am the Institutional Development Director of the World Scout Bureau Interamerican Support Center. Bye. Be prepared.